Hi ladies and gentlemen, you noticed in the last video, and I've done this a number of times, I often get the wrong date and I don't know why that happens. I said on the last one I did it on September 2nd, and a lot of you caught that I said it was August 2nd. I'm not really sure what is going on in my brain when I do that. Maybe it's the idea of getting older and I'm just trying to slow it down. I really don't know. But at any rate, you know that I do that at least occasionally, and so guess what? I'm not giving you the date today. I'm just going to ignore that altogether. Well, yeah, I know I'm doing another video quickly here now, but we're seeing some pretty significant things. I put out that video with Brand Thornton last couple of days, and showed you what's going on with the petrodollar and why the elite and the political leaders and the corporate talkers and all those want war because they want to ensure that their bank accounts stay valid. But it goes deeper than that, of course, and if you've done any research on this, or if you've listened to anything that I've talked to you about, those who believe in the Luciferian system are very much involved in the destruction of the creation of God. That's what they're really about. And that even includes themselves if need be, and we've even seen evidence of some of them saying that they include themselves in this total and complete annihilation of this creation. So I need to go there today just very, very quickly, because we're seeing this rush to war. There are a lot of things. Lies are being exposed by establishment. Lies are being exposed by people we wouldn't normally see them being exposed from. Normally when you hear things coming from Russia or from opposition governments, you figure it's war propaganda. But this time we've got all of this, the internet and the information age, despite the fact that the U.S. government would like to shut that down, is really giving us a lot of information, and that's really important to make sure that we're holding on to that and taking advantage of it. And so I'm going to go somewhere today that maybe you don't want me to go, but I feel like it's my responsibility to some extent. And I'm saying this of myself. I'm not claiming that I have any calling, divine or otherwise, to do this, but I do feel that I have to bring out some observations that I've made. And most of you know that I've had a very expansive, broad and deep religious, spiritual background, not just my political, military and civilian side. So I'm not going to say what I'm going to say here without quite a bit of experience and quite a bit of study. Okay, so and I'd even go into some other things about what I've seen and explain those, but I don't think right here is the time or the place. I'm going to do this from a heart-to-heart point of view, and you can either take it and use it in your life, in your preparations, in your attempt to get near and nigh unto God and ask Him to be nigh and near unto you, or you can just use it as you see fit or not at all. So what I'm going to say is this right now, no, we're not supposed to judge others, but when evil is rampant and doing the things that it's doing here, and it's obvious what it is that they're doing if you're paying attention, if you understand, they're out for the destruction of everything, and taking it all with them into the abyss. Okay, that's what they're doing. They understand, or at least they believe, a spiritual system or an evil system like that. Whether you believe it or not, they do. And I think you've heard some other commentators say that. So whether you believe in the spiritual things or not, these people do, and that's really the issue. I hope you believe in spiritual things. I hope you believe in the goodness that life and liberty offers, as opposed to the evil of slavery and death. But that's something that all of us have to come to on our own. As a matter of fact, in one of my books, I talked about that a lot of people that say they have the truth don't. They put dogma before the truth, and that's no way to honor God. I'm actually quoting somebody else. But in addition to that, the truth is something that we have to find on our own. It's an awe of discovery. if we allow it to be. And we still don't force that on others. And that's why you hear me give people, as I talk, so many avenues to escape from, so they don't have to believe what I say, because that's not fair. Even words can be used to force people to follow a specific thing. And so that's why I give you these other ways out. Okay, sure, I have a rather concrete belief system, but I don't think that it's right for me to force you into that. So I want you to find it on your own. I want you to have a way out. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. But as you noticed, I washed my feet and basically asked God to curse the evil ones. And here and right now, actually I heard Alex Jones ask us to do this today, and he's right. Everyone should do it. Everyone should. It's time to stop asking for God to bless these people and open their eyes. They don't want it. You ask God to go ahead and curse them the way they need to be cursed by Him, because that's really what it's come down to. They're not doing this ignorantly, okay? They're not. And it's time to call it as it really is. Say the sun is shining at noonday and admit it to ourselves that these people are out for our destruction. And you don't have to ask God to bless them under this circumstance, not when they've had all these times and opportunities to repent and they've refused to do so. It's now time for us, as David, remember the story of David and Goliath in the Bible? It's time for us to pick up that little tiny stone, put it in our sling, and hurl it at this beast as hard as we can. Okay? And the way we do that, best of all, is to let God fight our battles, but let Him know that we want Him to do that. Okay? So it's time. I don't know how you all would want to do it, but I would suggest doing what I did, washing your feet and asking God to render judgment on these evil ones and to bless and protect the rest of us. Who, yeah, we make mistakes. We've done little things, like I've said, but nothing like these people. Even marital infidelity is nowhere near the sin that these people do, and it's pretty serious, mainly because you're hurting somebody else. But what these people are doing is something in a whole nother realm. So don't let the little sins of the little people confuse you with this universal, this absolute hatred of all that the Creator's created, especially mankind. Okay? So I'm going to ask you to do that. Go and ask God to render judgment against these evil ones, the leaders of the nations that are doing the things that they're doing, and not all of them are, of course. You can name them by name if you want. Make sure, however, that you know what you're talking about. And that's why I pretty much stay with the New World Order people, the leaders of this nation who have shown that they're liars and deceivers and murderers and those types of things. Yeah, they exist throughout the world in other nations as well. But just be careful, okay? Ask God to go after the ones that have proven that they are evil in their intentions, in their heart. Okay? So that's the first thing I'm going to ask you. Okay, the second thing I'm going to ask you to do is, and again, you don't have to believe me on this, I'd just rather you didn't. But, I'm a history buff. I've done a lot of historical study, and that has included not just classical and secular history, but of course religious and spiritual history as well. It's pretty hot out here. I'm sweating, so I ask you to pardon me on this. But this concept of a savior wasn't really new in Christianity. It was even evident in paganism, and it would be kind of like a man-god type of thing, and a lot of the Christians out there get upset when I talk about the personality of God, the entity of God, and what that's like. But remember, if you're Christian, you believe that He became a man and He was resurrected. And a lot of Christians don't believe in the physical resurrection, but the point is that it was as a man. Okay. Well, what I'm getting at is this. Throughout history, there has been this hope. And it really became personified on a grand scale with the story of the person you know as Jesus Christ. And some people say, well, that's His name. Well, no, it isn't. That's His calling. Okay, a whole different thing. If you understood what that's really about, that wasn't the man's name that did this, okay? That was his calling. That was his mindset. Remember, let this mind be in you that was in Jesus Christ, in Christ Jesus. It's a mindset. That was not his name. But I won't go there. You can go ahead and use that if you want. Okay, that's fine with me. I guess it'll still get to the same place if your intent, the intent of your heart is right. But the point is that throughout history there have been some things that have happened, and one of those is this story of some type of celestial object that comes close to the earth. And this has not been in just one time, it's been on many, and I could give you all those examples, but you can study those on your own. I give you the opportunity to do that yourself. I just kind of lead you down the path to where you can find it, or at least give you the idea. One of those was some type of a celestial object that came into close to the earth when the story of Nimrod building the Tower of Babel. Part of the reason for him doing that was trying to reach that, or to reach heaven, to reach that object. And we have hieroglyphs and all kinds of things relating to that as well. Well, one of the things is about a return of a planet about once every 3,600 years, and there are several of these. Okay. Well, this Comet ISON that's been coming, I've looked at this in a little detail. And if any of you want to go on the web and look at this thing, it could be because of the photographic filters that they're using, or any number of things, but this does not appear, when you take away the obscurity of some of the things in the photographs, especially the way they didn't focus, or maybe some of the cloud around it, some of the debris around it. When you look into it, it looks like there's a structure, and it's not natural, at least not in my estimation. So what I'm telling you here is not that I'm absolutely certain that this is what I'm going to tell you I think it is, but it's something to think about, because we really can't fix our problems. The wicked, the evil people, and I don't mean the little people that make mistakes and do stupid things or whatever. I'm talking about people that are out to destroy creation, okay? Very few, if any of you, fall in that category. If you're with the NWO or supporting them, you are, especially if you know what you're doing with them. But at any rate, this thing's coming. It's supposed to be here, I guess, within the next 2 to 3 months, with it being on its closest approach somewhere in January. And there's been some concern about it. Well, look. When he comes back, people seeing this return would say that it was either a planet or a comet, and they would say that that's all it is, until it finally got close and the wicked would realize what it is, that it's his return. This coming would involve the wicked trying to hide from him and going into the earth, things like that. And that it would start as a very small object in the eastern sky and get larger and larger and larger until everybody would look up and realize what it is. Now, how it goes from there, I don't know. But I do know this, that a lot of things with the elite, with the wicked, with the evil ones who run the political organizations and the corporations and all of these things that are trying to usurp control over the mind of man, they're all trying to take this creation and take control of it, okay? Whether their end game is to destroy it or just to rule it, they're trying to do it. And I think they've sped things up, not because of anything we're doing, but because they see that something may be coming to stop them. And let's pray that that's true. Let's hope and pray that it is the good influence in the universe, the creator, or at least his representatives, okay? I'm not saying this as an assurity. I'm not saying that I know it for a fact. I'm just saying there's some corroborating information to lead us to believe that possibly this is an event, that maybe there is something that's happening. Now, a lot of people will say, well, these are the demons coming back. My answer to you on that is very simple. You will know them by their fruits. You can't figure them out before they get here. You can't make a blanket statement that they're evil. You can't make a blanket statement that they're good. But if this happens, and I'm really opening myself up here, I realize that. A lot of you are going to say, well, gee, Roy, you've had your feet on the ground on so many things, and now you're going off on this tangent, this really crazy idea. If any of you have ever studied other spiritual systems, other kind of communication systems, the spiritual person is often depicted as a fool. The fool is the most spiritual concept. What did they say about Jesus? You know, it kind of goes like this. John the Baptist came neither eating nor drinking, and you found fault with him. The Son of Man comes eating and drinking, and you say that he's evil, that he's bad. And I don't remember the exact quote, but I think you get the idea. So that's the concept. It's not what a man takes into his mouth that defiles him, is what comes out. And my intent in this is not to force you to believe it, but to examine it. It won't even force you to examine it, but encourage you to examine it and take it in as a possibility. A lot of things about the signs in the heavens in the last days. And there, Dabu 7, I think, had a rather good video about this thing. And somebody rebutted him, who is a Christian, who claimed to be, saying that there's only one reference in the New Testament about signs in the heavens and the earth. Well, no, that's not true. It's all through in Revelations and Hebrews. I mean, it's all over. It's all over in the Gospels. It's all over, and certainly in the Old Testament, it took a big portion of it. I mean, for crying out loud, in your own New Testament, it talks about the wise men seeing the signs in the stars. The star of the King, the star of the Messiah. So come on, folks. What is the one book that man can't alter? He might alter the interpretation of it on the earth, but what is the one book he can't monkey with? The book written in the stars. And if you find the code for that, if you find it, you can decipher it. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Long video, didn't mean to do it that long. I might have someone else come on and discuss this with me sometime here in the next few days. I just want to make sure that we do it justice. But I wanted to do those two things. Say that we're in a precarious situation right now. These men, these people that control these armies and navies and all of that, want to destroy us, our wives, and our children. And those who are taking part in this thing need to wake up. I'm really proud of the military people who are saying, don't do this. It's wrong. It's outside the Constitution. We're helping Al-Qaeda. People like me have been saying this for a long time. We've been made fun of, and now you have legitimate people, Limbaugh and Ted Cruz. You might not consider them, credible if you're liberal, but the point is that a lot of people are coming out with this. Kucinich, okay? So, people are waking up. They're willing to call the truth the truth. They're willing to say the sun is shining at noonday. They're not denying that the sun, the truth, is shining at noonday. I saw Senator Kerry, or Secretary of State Kerry today. What a joke! And when he was testifying in front of Congress, I guess. And man, there's something wrong with that guy. It would almost lead me to believe that maybe he is a shapeshifter or whatever they call him. I'm not sure how David Icke talks about that, but this guy didn't look normal. I was thinking he was having some kind of a, maybe a stroke or something, but it wasn't. There was something else going on with him, and I don't know if it's an evil demon in him or just the way he is, but he did not seem right to me. His tongue coming out like a serpent or a lizard. Wow. I mean, if there's really something to this stuff, that's crazy. That's crazy. I would never have gone that far, but you see these things in evidence and you wonder. So, again, the two things I want you to do, if you will, please. Pray to God to bring judgment upon these evil ones and to protect our families and our loved ones against this destruction that's coming. And it is coming, one way or another. It's at the door. It is here. Whether man does it or whether God does it, it's here. And we must pray that ourselves and our loved ones, the pure in heart, and when I mean pure in heart, again, little people making mistakes, I mean people that basically in their heart have goodness, that they want to see good things happen. That they don't manufacture and sit there and design evil. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. So the evil ones to be judged and destroyed, taken away, and the good preserved, okay, and blessed. Whether you wash your feet in water, shake the dust off your feet, or just say a prayer, do that. But it's always good to try to do something with the prayer that's physical, okay? That's why you wash your feet. It puts it in both worlds, both in the realm of the consciousness, the spirit, and in the physical realm. So it covers both. That's really why you do things like that, to cover the two parts of creation. So I would encourage you to do that. And secondly, check this thing about ISON out, and the possibility that maybe this really is the return of the Son of the Creator. Okay? All right. I'll get back with you. Thanks a lot.